Yep. Got a lot to talk about, and as you can tell by that title, we're talking quarterbacks. What is up, Dolphin fans? Sorry for changing the time up. I'll take the blame for that. I got a daughter dance later tonight.
And I'm so excited for you. You're going to have to give me the cliff notes because I have my daddy and daughter dance next Thursday, and I'm super excited.
This is my first one. She's now officially old enough to. So this is going to be fun. We'll talk about it on Tuesday. But yeah, we're gonna talk a lot of quarterbacks today and the over-unders and all that good stuff. But real quick, gonna shout out the sponsor Sleeper. Go check them out. Fantastic fantasy app. Use the promo code HMA. You get 100% up to $100. Plus now you could do team pick'ems, not just the individuals. So go check them out. So let's talk about this. Let's jump right into the first topic. Now, obviously, we're in a situation now that we're going to need a new quarterback. And it has been official.
Maybe.
Maybe. No guarantee.
And there's some names out there. Now, the Malik Willis name has been attached to the Dolphins since we got Halfley and Sullivan, but the price keeps going up. The rumored price keeps going up.
Nobody's had a discussion. Nobody's had a single discussion with any agent about what an offer or what their thinking is. That conversation will come next week.
I was going to say.
Yeah. But supply and demand tells you he's going to get offered probably more than he would in a different year if there were a lot better options. There are very, very few options at the most important position. And if you don't think that's not going to drive up his price, you cray.
Well, let's put something on the guaranteed money. So I'm telling you, I only care about the guaranteed money.
Really? No.
Yeah, that's the only money that's real in a contract. Like, let's be real about it.
What's your position on whether the cap is real? I'm a little foggy on that.
Stop. Don't provoke me.
That's what I do.
I don't even know if we went over this. Cutting him as a June 1st, cutting him as anything but a June 1st cut is not realistic, not even possible. In the realm of possibility, you'd have to completely purge your roster, cut 5 starters, trade Minka, trade Devon Achane just to do it. Not even replace any of them.
If you want to, that because the cap is not real.
Oh, is the cap real or is it not real? You can do that, but then you could do that, but then
they're not going to do that.
How are you going to build your team back? You can't even afford to sign your rookie class. You'd have to restructure. There's nobody even to restructure. You can't restructure Zach Sealer. Like there's nobody to take money from. Nobody. That's how bad the books are. Everybody on the roster except for Aaron Brewer and Jordan Brooks. You can either cut them or they're making $1 million. Like. And the exceptions are, the people that you probably could cut, probably could trade, and then Zach Sealer, which you can't take any money from because you already have an option bonus on him. Like there's nothing there.
So it's either trade or post June 1st. It's pretty much what it comes down to. But we got
or keep him and not lose any money, and put him on IR and.
Just stay into my IR.
Just make him invisible. Go do your thing, Tua. Get healthy. Figure it out.
With Deshaun Watson 1 year. The whole year for.
That'd be interesting. That would be a topic to talk about.
And you wouldn't lose money. Right now you cut Tua, you lose $11 million. You could put him on. You're still going to give him $54 million. You put him on IR. You don't lose $11 million, and he still goes away. Like you gotta think creatively, folks. It's not
but he'd have to be on board with that, otherwise he could fight it through the NFLPA.
Yes, and he could force his release, which So Tua does have. Tua's got all the leverage. He's got $54 million worth of leverage. Yeah, and Poupard's like, why did you ever sign that deal? Yes.
Because the market is the market.
Yes.
Omar Kelly asked for it.
Stop. I'm not gonna even go ahead. Did I think it was a good deal, Poupard? Did I think it was the right thing to do?
No, but as we discussed earlier, the Dolphins put themselves in a corner where they left themselves no choice.
Mhm.
Forbid they bring in somebody who actually could step in if Tua was going to like play hardball, which he did. And then Tua saw, oh, it's Mike White, Skylar Thompson, pay me.
remember we would watch those practices and be like, what the bleep is this? Like this is like you can't even function with this. Like, and lo and behold, here we are. $54 million later.
And then depression set in.
So Malik Willis. Now Jimmy Garoppolo's name's been floating around as a potential if they do move on from Tua. And they got Mac Jones who you would have to trade for. But let
me address the Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mm.
You know Jimmy Garoppolo's turned down the Dolphins twice already. And
that's
maybe,
when we had
maybe that had to do with Mike McDaniel.
Or maybe that had to do with the fact he was going to be a backup. Now he's got a chance to compete for the starting job.
He had a chance to compete for the starting job with the Raiders and did not do well. So what would make us think he's going to do well now?
Dude, he did well in San Francisco. And it's kind of sort of the same offense the Dolphins are running. Did very, very, very well.
Yeah. That was after the Raiders. And
no, it's before the Raiders.
No.
Yeah. He went from New England to San Francisco, then to the Raiders.
No, and the Raiders after that, and then he went. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But he had major success with San Francisco, where his passer rating, since I know you love passer rating, his career passer rating was higher than Tua's.
I know.
And the one loss record, which I know you love,
I know,
also is better than Tua's.
More.
But he never had a chance to compete for a starting job here, which is why maybe you're going to go be a backup to Matthew Stafford for the Rams. Or am I going to be a backup to Tua in Miami? What to do?
We're screwed. Then you got Mac Jones, who you have a trade for. And from my understanding, it doesn't seem like the Dolphins are trading any draft picks because they keep talking about building through the draft. So there's and there's other options out there. Will Levis, you could trade for him as well, and Anthony Richardson, you could trade for him as well. Do you see the Dolphins? Let's talk about that. Do you honestly see the Dolphins trading picks for anybody? Because again, Sullivan has talked about it, and even Hafley has talked about that they're going to build through the draft and then kind of compensate through free agency. Do you guys see that, Alan?
I could see it under the scenario where it's, for example, Jimmy G and a 5 for a 3 or something like that. Where
Jimmy G isn't he?
Sorry, not Jimmy G, like Mac Jones or one of the other ones, maybe Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, where it's player plus a pick for a higher pick, where you're not you're pick for pick, you're just dropping down a round or two to get the player. That I could see.
Okay.
I mean, they start every conversation with saying you got to get the quarterback right. You got to fix the quarterback, and then you got to build through the draft. Every time both of them talk, they all say the same thing. Now, the question is, how do you get the quarterback right? I've always said this, and I do truly believe this. Nobody cares how you did it as long as you've done it. If I traded 3 first-round picks for whoever, Malik Willis, and Malik Willis becomes a top 10 quarterback, an elite quarterback, nobody cares that I sent 3 first-round picks. If I send five first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson plays at an elite level, nobody cares as long as you've got an elite quarterback. But the problem is, and this is not on them, is that the evaluation hasn't always been sound.
Yeah.
The organization is terrified of quarterback competition, and this goes back to the damn Jimmy Johnson days. This goes back to Wanstead days. Nobody. When is like there has been, and I say this all the time, there's been quarterback competition 1 week since I've been on this beat since 2007. 1 week.
do we feel confident in putting that behind us now? Because the first message that this new regime brings in of yes, we're definitely having quarterback competition.
Hell
They
no.
like they
Hell no. They all lie. Hell no. They
When
all
we
lie.
see it, when we see it, we'll believe it. When we see it, we'll believe it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then Malik Willis comes here and he says, "I'm not coming if Tua's not gone." And what will they do? They'll make
Tua
Tua
in any version of competition. Tua's done in Miami. Even if they keep him and sit him on the bench, are we really trying to evaluate Tua to compete and then he has a good camp and name the starter just for his arm to die in week 12 again? Are we really trying to think about going down this path?
Y'all froze on me. I don't even have a clue what you said.
No, it's just the Tua
Two-part
thing.
answer the question.
The Tua problem. If we are going to go down this path where we might be keeping Tua, are we really considering him competing with someone?
Didn't you say you want him to compete? So
yeah, but his ship is sailed. We're talking about quarterback competition, period. Not him per se.
I would argue to you, Tua is still better than Quinn Ewers. So he might not have the arm, but he's still better than Quinn Ewers.
But to what end, Omar? To what end?
I'm not saying it's gonna be an end result that's positive or beneficial for the franchise. But if you're gonna say compete, then and it's an open competition and a fair competition, which players will watch for. You got to give him an opportunity to compete, and he could very well beat whoever you put. Tua could very well beat whoever you put against him.
To that end, can I make a comment over here? Because I made this point in an earlier episode, and I checked the comments. I don't know how regularly you guys do. I checked the comments, and my football acumen was questioned, if not basically dismissed, because I said in a training camp setting, Tua, chances are, is going to look better than the other quarterbacks. Okay, absolutely. And then like, you don't know anything about football because practice translates to the games. And this is the part. Okay, this is my reply to that. In a practice, Tua's not getting hit. The guys are going to stop before they get to him. Okay, so therefore he doesn't have to worry. What's his biggest issue right now is when there's pressure and when he's going to get hit. So no, it's not the same thing. Okay, so anyway,
Alan, you made the mistake of saying something positive about Tua. You don't say anything positive about Tua because you will get attacked for saying something positive about Tua.
And I agree with Pupart. In a training camp setting, Tua's going to smoke whoever's there. I'm just being honest with you. Yeah. Especially if the offense doesn't change. However, like it's just like Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler, I ain't never seen nothing like that in a training camp setting, in a setting where he couldn't get hit. Maybe Dan Marino's the last time I'd seen something like that. But no, because remember Jay was like rifling that thing. Chad never rifled it.
No, but he was like dart.
Yeah, but he was darting you to death. Jay Cutler could do everything. Like Jay Cutler was like gone. It was slinging it. But then when people were hitting you, he was playing hot potato with the ball because hell, you got his ribs broke. He's just trying to get his $13 million and get out of here. And, it's not the same thing. So, yes, in a training camp setting, Tua, I'd probably give Tua the edge over a guy who started 6 games in the NFL.
My whole point to that is to what end? You need to bring guys that's competing for the job that might actually have a future. Not just because he's on the roster and he plays best in camp and you march him out there as our starter. That's disastrous.
You play the best player to put yourself in position to win. That's how you got into the whole Ryan Fitzpatrick starting situation. That wasn't beneficial to you, but you had to show the team that we're trying to do things the right way. We're trying to be competitive. If you play an inferior quarterback, your team's going to quit on you because you're not even giving us a chance.
So then you basically you give him no reps whatsoever in training camp. If you give him reps and he's the one who plays the best, then you don't start him because you know what you have. It's just and can we just all agree that the Dolphins have 12 different options of the way the quarterback situation comes up with Tua? None of them are good.
Pretty much.
I can give you a good one. I won't because it'll get me attacked. But I can give you.
No, go ahead.
4 balls out,
Okay.
and the doctors and figure something out.
Yeah, he goes to Germany or Japan where they're doing blood doping, blood spinning, the next level science stuff. He gets it injected into his hip. The hip improves, the arm strength improves. He loses weight, cuts out sugar, gets back to being a runner again, and he gives you the 2023 version of Tua until December when it gets cold and he can't throw the ball. And that's but you know, you could be 8-3 by that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real with you. Like, it could happen.
Sure.
And that's where, you know, Omar's stash 'em comes in, because again, you know, you have a legit competition. It's probably gonna win.
They're not gonna have no legit of everything that I've said. I fully 100% believe they're not gonna have a legit competition.
Yeah,
not even.
You know how many times we've been burnt as fans by a new GM or head coach coming in saying whatever, and then obviously, like even Mike McDaniel. Yes, there's instances where it didn't work, but like the playoff game against the Kansas City Chiefs before the half, we got to run the ball more. He comes out of the half, he barely ran the ball. It's like there's so many times where these guys
they had 8 men in the box. That game was like impossible.
But still, there's
I promise he was calling run plays, but the offense is so scripted that hey, we get this look. That's all tap my helmet. We doing this.
You couldn't throw that ball 15 yards going one direction. Like,
but what I'm saying is there's so many instances of are these coaches coming in, whether it was Flores, whether it was Gase, whether it was McDaniel saying, "Oh, we'll say whatever makes it so." We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. So let's talk about the wins. We have the lowest with the Arizona Cardinals. So Vegas is right. The Miami Dolphins and the Arizona Cardinals are competing for the number 1 overall pick.
They're wrong.
March for Arch. Is he honestly that good?
No.
I haven't watched him. No. Is Arch Manning that good?
No.
That you think
he started out rough, but he picked it up on the back end of the season.
Yes, but he's still Eli Manning-esque. Not even there
right now. Future Hall of Famer, no doubt about it.
Because he is not Eli Manning is not a future Hall of Famer.
Hey, he can give me 2 Super Bowls like Eli. He can replace Dan Marino trophy any day.
Eli has a 500 winning record.
With 2 Super Bowls.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying my predictions, I believe he'll get into the Hall of Fame. Dude, there were some people calling for him to be a first ballot Hall of Fame, which to me was
they were ridiculously no. I'm not even sure Ben Roethlisberger's a Hall of Famer, and I think he's better than Eli Manning. Eli Manning, his calling card is he's beaten Brady twice, and he raps about it. I love that.
The first one they won because their front four wasn't.
I was gonna say, wasn't it like a 17-14?
Beating Brady twice, like that's all that matters. He has beaten Tom Brady twice.
Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls. I don't see him anywhere near the Hall of Fame.
Give me Jim Plunkett if he gonna bring us the Lombardi. Y'all don't get it. Is if you can help this team get a Lombardi trophy and they can build around you properly, that's all that matters. But so don't be the reason why they lose.
So Trent Dilfer was better than Dan Marino then because he's got a Super Bowl ring. And
I'm not talking about who was better, but if Trent Dilfer would have brought us a Super Bowl,
one of the best defenses in NFL history.
What's that?
Yeah,
Trent Dilfer.
Oh, absolutely.
So did Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson.
So did Brad Johnson, and so did Sam Darnold. When history was recording this, it'll show that
Sam Darnold.
I like that.
I know, I like that too.
He needs to take that because Drake May is the stupidest name I've ever heard, but Sam Darnold.
Drake May, that's funny.
Yeah, I never heard Drake May.
That's the name he came up with. Drake May. I don't know who came up with that, but it's horrible nickname.
May what? Second the Super Bowl? I'm sorry. What? Sorry, JD.
You said it.
No, I'm just saying. I think people underestimate the fact that these quarterbacks that weren't great that won Super Bowls, they didn't hurt their teams in those games in that playoff runs. They didn't hurt them. That's all. That like Lamar can be as great as he want to. He get to the Super Bowl and hurt his team. Hey, I don't care for that. As long as you can play your part with a great team around you and everybody do their job. Like Sam wasn't amazing in the Super Bowl, but he didn't hurt them one iota.
But that's because you're not asked to do as much heavy lifting as other guys.
You shouldn't have to for quarterbacks when you get that far.
I think we putting too much stock on the quarterback, and I know how important they are. But if you got a top 5 defense and a top 5 rushing team, and a competent quarterback, you'll probably be in the championship game, if not the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but it's about winning it though. And Jimmy G is a perfect example. Everything was around him when he went to the Super Bowl. He was a major reason they lost.
I can't remember that. But.
Yeah, that game on the line, overthrows the ball, sails it right to the defender.
Yeah, I do remember that. Remember that.
These are the things I'm talking about. Like that's when those guys show up that's good enough not to be good enough.
What would the Dolphins do just to get to the Super Bowl? I mean, how would Dolphins react if they just got to the Super Bowl? I mean, seriously?
I mean, we'd be ecstatic,
okay,
but again, it's still going to be about winning it.
Okay, they were 13-2.
Far away from winning the damn Super Bowl. Like
I don't know if we far, Omar. 2 little moves here and there, we might be New England.
What 2 moves? What 2 moves?
I don't know what 2 moves.
You don't have pass rushers. You don't have quarterbacks. You don't have safeties. You don't have offensive guards. You don't have wide receivers. You don't have tight ends. What 2 moves? TD?
So TD,
we got hope.
TD, without trolling, what realistically do you think is the ceiling number of wins for 2026 as it stands right now?
Ceiling?
Yes.
Brutal 7.
Okay.
Brutal 7. Floor? Brutal 4. Floor is 4.
I'd go 9.
I think I said
you go 9.
Yeah, I go 9. You don't know how this is gonna play out. You can go get Lamar.
See, no, we're talking about what you got right now, what you're looking at right now. Now we go get Lamar. We going to the Super Bowl.
What you got right now? What you got right now?
Somebody
right now? When like right now? I mean, 6 right now.
Yeah.
When this came out, the over under, someone on Twitter asked me, because I was like, I think I said around like 5 or 6. Somebody asked me, what games are we winning? I'm like, man, we don't even have a roster. What are you asking me what games are winning? Like, what are you talking about?
Like, yeah, we don't know. Kyler Murray could be the leading quarterback of the Miami Dolphins and be the comeback player of the year. We don't know.
How many years does the schedule come out and everyone sits there and goes, whoa, you got a rough stretch there, man. And then all of a sudden we get to that stretch and we win.
I absolutely hate that when the schedule come out and everybody's like, oh, we played this many playoff teams.
You got to go to Cleveland.
Oh, look at this record. Look at how hard it is going to be.
40 degrees.
I'm like, you don't know what that team is going to look like in week 5.
It ain't failed me yet. As soon as I get to December, if it's cold games, Tua Tagovailoa, my quarterback, I'm about 100% on predictions. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me the cold weather games we win. Yeah, I know.
We won at Cleveland last year, or in 2024, in December.
Huntley.
They won at 2024.
Oh, well, it must have been the global warming deal.
2024, he didn't start against Cleveland. Huntley started.
No, Tyler Huntley.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Remember, the criteria was too.
And it was like, what, 45 degrees that day or something? Like it was
we had a new quarterback at the helm. So
didn't we win a cold game this year? And Tua was like rubbing it in people's face. Like it was Jets, maybe?
The Jets 34-10, but that was like early December, I think it was.
Yeah, but it was
but this was an admitted tanking team. I was actually at that game in New York, in MetLife. It was real cold too. I ain't never experienced that. That was cold.
Really? I didn't think it was that cold that day.
It was cold where I was. See, I was up there in the top.
Yeah, the wind was like blowing on you. Okay.
Yeah, man, that was.
That was the week I discovered like goose feathers, whatever they're called.
Down, down coats. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? This thing got me warm up in here. Oh shoot!
And what you had Baltimore the next week after that in Baltimore?
24? No, what are you talking about? No, I wasn't in Baltimore. I didn't go to Baltimore this year. Pittsburgh.
Yeah, why am I saying Baltimore?
Yeah, no, Pittsburgh was cold. Don't sleep on that. That was cold. I was walking through snow. New York, I don't think it was snowing.
No, just cold.
It was just cold.
The snow here is just melting from that blizzard I got 3 weeks ago, and I'm supposed to get another one this weekend.
Yeah.
I forgot it's still winter up there.
It's about to be winter down here. Next weekend it's going to be cold.
Really?
So
got a drop
it's going to drop at night. It's going to drop down to like 50 degrees. We might have another iguana purge on our hands. Like I got to get rid of these iguanas.
Finally, and then we'll get to a bunch of donations. First round options. I am not even in draft mode, so I don't even know much. So any of you guys who are in draft mode, who
I think a good thing to talk about with the first round options, would you like Miami to take the pick at 11, move up for somebody, or move down and get more assets?
Move down, yeah. Which is easier said than done. Yeah. Everyone wants to move down.
Yeah, bro. What year did Chris Greer not want to move down? Actually, the year he drafted Minka Fitzpatrick.
Somebody put up on Twitter, would you do this trade? I can't remember who it was. Like Dolphins moving up to number 1 to pick Mendoza and give up they're at number 11, a 1 next year, a 3, and like a 4.
You can have 4 ones if you want Mendoza. Like 4, sure.
Hell no. I'm like, hell no.
Absolutely. I'd give up 4 ones for Mendoza.
You would? Seriously?
Yeah. I don't even think he's that dope. I don't even think he's that dope.
I don't think he's that dope either, but I think his fan base need it.
Yeah, I don't care. At this point, I don't care. Like 4 ones, what's that to me? We've had a GM for the last 10 years who couldn't draft. Like
maybe now with the Dolphins have a GM who can draft.
Well, if you have a conviction about a quarterback, go get him. Do whatever it takes, and that includes Malik Willis. You want to pay him $30 million a year? Cool, sure. Yeah, you have seen him. You have seen him more than anybody else in the world. All I'm saying is, don't be wrong. Do not be wrong, because I'm coming for you if you're wrong. Like that's your one. You don't get.
Can we afford to pay Malik Willis $30 million?
Huh? What you say?
Backload it.
Afford to pay him $30 million?
I'm talking about guaranteed money. You know, I don't talk about nothing but guaranteed money. Like
you
everything else.
Backload the contract and
yeah. If you give him a 3
down the road, love it when the player might not be on the team anymore. Love that. Love that.
What?
That's how you do it.
Contract.
I would give him 3 years, $75 million with $30 million guarantee. If somebody want to beat that, cool. But that's $15 million a year, and I'll figure it out at the back end.
Don't be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, exactly. I would give it to him if you have that conviction. But what I'm saying to you, as the person who is a columnist that covers and criticizes you on a regular basis and will analyze everything you do, don't be wrong. Because if you are wrong, I'm gonna be in that ass. Like don't be wrong. Like you're gonna lose a lot of stock around here. If this fan base is like this 2026, they're gonna be patient with you. But you get Malik Willis and he's not that dude. Oh, you out of time, brother. You got one more quarterback pick.
Like, if he sucks,
yeah,
or,
or he
gets hurt. You pay him his money, commit money, and he blows an ACL in week 5 or something.
That's our luck. That's exactly what would happen.
Here's my thing, and excellent point, Pupart, because he is the size of Tua Tagovailoa, and you want him running. You think he's going to be some scrambling quarterback. You've seen 6 games of a sample size. Imagine what happens to his body after 34 games.
But his body tells us he may be able to absorb more, though. Contact.
More than Tua,
much bigger frame than Tua, right?
No, he's not.
Yeah, he has a
He's
bigger
they,
frame to it.
they are the exact same weight and the exact same size.
He's got a bigger.
Yeah, but
frame.
one might be
Okay.
muscle.
Okay, whatever. Let's move off that. Okay, let's move off that. And I've played this game on Twitter with people, and it's a tremendous exercise that I've done myself, and I challenge people to find more people, and they have. Name the backup quarterback that a team has poached from another franchise as a free agent, paid handsomely, and it worked out for that organization. Not traded for and then compensated, but actually poached as a free agent. There is Scott Mitchell, Jay Fiedler, Mark something Grable, Gerback, something
Gerback.
Mark Gerback,
Elvis Gerback.
Elvis Gerback, Tyrod Taylor. That's the list.
Would
Tom
you throw
Brady.
Kurt Warner in there?
No, Kurt Warner was never signed as a starter. I mean, Kurt Warner was never signed as a starter, never signed as big money. He eventually got the opportunity, elevated to a starter. Now, it can't be a backup who blossoms with this franchise like Dak Prescott or Tony Romo. We're talking about a guy you covered every single one of them have been traded. Matt Castle traded, Matt Hasselbeck traded for, Jimmy Garoppolo traded for. Now, understand, and Trent Green traded for. Understand it's Brad Johnson was traded for. Like I saw what Brad Johnson went for. I was like, man, that's ridiculous. He went for like a first, second, and a third.
Wow.
I was like, who the hell is paying a first, second, and a third for Brad Johnson?
Was that before or after the Super Bowl?
I don't remember. I don't remember. He went to Washington, but he got beat out by Randall Cunningham for Minnesota's job. And then they shipped him to Washington. The point I'm making is very few, the Kevin Cobbs of the world, the Brock Osweiler's of the world. There's a longer list of failures than there is of successes. The Nick Foles of the world, failures. Then there are successes. And then the successes, are they really successes? Or would you call Jay Fiedler a success?
No.
Would you call
he had a very good one-loss record, actually better than the quarterback you know and love.
I love Jay Fiedler.
With a hell of a defense and Ricky Williams. But would you, like Tyrod Taylor, would you call that a success?
No.
So
I get your point, Omar, but I'd kind of push back on it and say this. It's kind of unfair to say they weren't a success because every time they were brought in that scenario, it's not like the teams they were brought into were ready to win. They were always like they almost like brought them in to be a bridge and hope that they could
Tyrod
be
Taylor
more.
took Buffalo to the playoffs.
Yeah, took them to the playoffs, but was that team built to like compete for an actual Super Bowl? That's why Tyrod
took Detroit to the playoffs. Jay Fiedler took Miami to the playoffs.
Then these are successes. Successes.
Okay, so are we going to be satisfied if that's what Malik Willis becomes? Scott Mitchell, Jay Fiedler, Tyrod Taylor.
I think what we're looking for is him to play to a level that says, let's continue to build around him. Like what we see is good enough. You know what? This like say Malik Willis comes in and we win 9 games and he has a phenomenal season. And we got this roster? Yes. Okay, that's success for us because let's build around him. Let's build around him now and see what that can turn out. So I think that's all we're looking for.
I've seen people say let's get Malik Willis and then do what Green Bay does, which is draft a quarterback and have him sit behind Malik Willis. If, like TD said, he comes in and he is that type of quarterback, then you have him. You can do what Green Bay does. And, okay, Malik, you're our starter, but we have Nussmeier or we have whoever who's waiting to take the reins or pick the first in 2027.
Not waiting to take the reins because you don't want to make the Minnesota mistake, but do what Minnesota did. Like they brought in JJ,
right?
Sam balled out, recognize that, and keep Malik if he does. Like if you can create that type of atmosphere, just don't make the mistake that Minnesota did, moving on and going with the young guy when you found somebody who got you 13-14 wins.
Minnesota's kicking themselves right now.
I mean, hold on. There's nothing, Sam. There's nothing special about Sam Darnold. I'm sorry.
All right, we got to stop.
JJ McCarthy is not it. You could go put Kyler Murray in that situation, and I think Kyler Murray could lead them. No.
Oh, hey,
I'm not even a Kyler Murray fan.
Okay,
but
good.
You ain't watching up Sam this year. See, the thing is, Sam has turned into an excellent quarterback in the regular season. In the playoffs last year, he's actually played very. I mean, making big boy throws. I mean, it's almost like he never had an issue. Like, where was all that? That old stuff. You don't even know where it came from. The way he's playing now, he's actually playing at a top tier level.
But he's probably got and people have tried to throw him into this conversation of the parameters that I'm giving people, but he was not, he bounced around the league. He was signed as a backup, but he got $10 million. They didn't like, whoa, you're going to be our starter. So, but he had 75 games of starting experience. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. People are like, oh, Baker Mayfield went to Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield had started 79 games, won playoff games, was a Pro Bowler by the time he got to Tampa. He just hit some rough patches and his organization made some bad decisions. It happens. But let's not sit here and say, oh, this quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, when he went to Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill had how many starts under his belt when he went to Tennessee? It's not like this Malik Willis has 6 starts. 6.
Yeah, we don't know what to get with Malik Willis.
6.
Hey, you, Mr. Spanish speaker.
I like Spanish women. Do I speak Spanish? Un poquito.
Oh God. I see where TD's coming from though, because for a fact as Dolphin fans, if I'm not gonna say Tua because he's too controversial of a name, but if we had a quarterback who got us the record that Sam Darnold did against Minnesota, we'd be pretty pissed if they let him walk.
Well,
yeah. I mean, but if we had a first round pick waiting there that maybe we thought was better than the guy that replaced him, I don't disagree with you. Keep the hot hand when you got the hot hand.
Yeah.
And then
that's
listen,
a lesson learned now.
Is what they should have done after the season Darnold had. Darnold should have been re-signed, kept his job, and then the Vikings should have listened to trade offers for JJ McCarthy, which they
or just let him develop like Jordan Love.
Yeah,
or he's not going nowhere.
Exactly. Excellent point, my friend.
Yeah, he's not going nowhere. Why are people so scared of quarterbacks developing? Take your time, cook them slowly. You don't have to rush them onto the field. That's why all these GMs are getting fired after 3 years now. Coaches getting fired after 3 years. You know why? Because they keep doing stupid stuff.
Green Bay is the prime example of that working. How many quarterbacks have they had?
Got stability. They got stability. And that's the thing I don't like about the Malik Willis comparison. Tell me the weakness of his offensive unit when he was in there as a replacement. Line was good. Run game was good. Receivers good.
Line was okay. Line wasn't great.
The line was great. He had to run for his life a little
bit. He did have to run for his life. And I like that aspect of his game. He's got elusiveness, mobility. The problem is when you hit him 10 times a game, that's going to add up and he's going to be on IR.
That's what scares me about Anthony Richardson with that possibility. Because I remember that one play where he almost got sacked. He put his hand down, got up, and then threw that touchdown pass, which was ridiculous. But again, like Omar said, man gets injured. So, he's not going to survive playing behind.
And he's a little bigger.
Yeah.
If I'm with Poupard and TD on this. You want a scrambling quarterback, he got to be about 6'5" and 300 to 230 pounds. You to endure all that.
Hey, Doug, go try out.
You wrong.
Big Doug.
They do walk on tryouts.
Oh, I would be horrible. I could throw, but you asked me to start running. I can't run for my.
Can you read a defense?
Depends. As long as I don't have an ocular migraine, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. Reminds me, I want to talk about an NFL story before we go to the nations. Terrell Davis, I think that was in the Super Bowl, where he had an ocular migraine, and he said to Shanahan, "I can't see," and he was like, "I just need you out there, because if you're not out there, they're not going to think we're going to run the ball." And then I think John Elway threw it for a touchdown on that play. I forgot what Super Bowl it was. I think it was against not the Patriots, against the Packers. It's one of those Super Bowls.
Packers or Falcons was when they won 97, 98. Or as they say in hockey, shave it and tape it.
So real quick, also, shout out to the U.S. women's hockey team winning gold.
Any particular reason you're bringing that up? Seriously?
You said hockey.
Okay.
Cool.
I will say, completely ridiculous. You award a gold medal in a 3-on-3 overtime format. Completely ridiculous. But that's beside the point. Congrats to the U.S. team.
Josh says they always do a scavenger hunt at the Triple D. Have the belt tie loose and ready to hand off. Bring change and $1.
Okay.
At the Triple D, what's the Triple D?
Daddy-daughter dance.
Oh, they always do a scavenger hunt, a daddy-daughter dance. Have the belt tied loose and ready to hand
They
off.
did not. I was not privy to one of those in the couple of daddy-daughter dances I did with my daughter. So maybe I.
What happens at a daddy-daughter dance?
They dance.
I'm just gonna let her run around with her friends, and if she wants to,
Yeah, exactly.
You just embarrass them. That's all.
I'm gonna stand.
Exactly.
I know one of the dads is a Patriot fan, so I might have to poke him a little bit.
And he's gonna be like, "Shut up, loser."
14-3 and made the Super Bowl compared to.
We've only rebuilt in 2 years. It's only taken you 2 decades.
I think you might want to send that one out, Doug.
You gotta bring the toilet paper. JT said injury free was the 2023 team, our Super Bowl team. I think injury free. I think they got pretty damn far.
Yeah, really. Half the league say that.
Yeah, half the league can say that.
That's the question.
I never bought in. That's
No.
true. Puvar did never buy in. He didn't buy in.
They had.
That was the closest they've gotten, probably, to me. That was the closest to a Super Bowl team since 92, 94, maybe. But I don't know that it was a Super Bowl team.
I never bought in, because even when the team was healthy and they played the two good teams, they looked like the Dolphins always looked bad. So when they weren't healthy,
somebody messing up
teams and they looked bad, it wasn't an excuse.
I mean, you're right.
There's always somebody messing up.
All they had to do was beat Tennessee, and they would have been the AFC East champs.
Yep.
They didn't do it.
And it was Tennessee, knowing how they were as a team out of all teams.
And they had a lead. Remember that? Yeah.
27-13 with like 5 minutes left.
And again, that's like TD said, that's the Dolphins' way, because you'll always find somebody, whether it was Tua, whether it was Tyreek, whether it was Bradley Chubb, somebody messes up. And I bring up Bradley Chubb because that Tennessee game, it was going to be 4th down. He threw his helmet off, gives them the first down. They end up scoring.
That was early in the game. Was early in the game, though, was it not?
No, I think that was later in the game. You can double check.
That wasn't part of the comeback, was it? I'm gonna look at it right now, because
I think it was right before. I think they ended up kicking a field goal or something. I know they scored.
I'm looking at other players. It was Tua. It is what it is. Everything's his fault.
Cam Wake many years ago said something to me that has never left me. Cam Wake would always get on these diatribes about why teams lose close games, and he was like, "There's always three plays in a game that decide whether you win or lose. You don't know which play it's going to be. You don't know when it's going to happen, but you can always find 3 plays in a game that's going to determine and dictate the outcome of the game. Sometimes you got to get lucky. Sometimes you got to make something happen. And the teams that win are the teams that make those plays, and the teams that lose are the teams that give them up."
By the way, I just looked it up real quickly while Omar was talking. It was in the second quarter and Tennessee scored a touchdown to make it 7-7. So it doesn't change the fact Dolphins were up 27-13 with like 4 or 5 minutes left. And
yeah, but it would have been 27-7. 6 would have held them off.
Tyreek fumbled the ball on the first drive. Gave them
no. That was Omar. That was 2024. We're talking about the 2023 game.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
They all lumped in together. Those Tennessee butt whoopings they're just all.
There's always Tennessee.
Yeah, because of Vrabel. They built a physical brand of team, and you see that now with the Patriots.
Yeah, that's true.
B. Whittaker said, "What are the necessary traits for a quarterback in 2026? Strength, mobility,
arm strength.
You got to be
The
mobile.
ability to process the field post snap.
Tua could do that.
No, he can't. Y'all think he can with that spot throw?
I used to think accuracy. I used to have this 10 traits that was given to me by, I believe it was Kyle Shanahan, that a quarterback needs in order to be a successful starter. And I used to and they were ranked, and I used to swear by these 10 traits. And that's how we ended up with Tua. Because size was not on it, mobility was not on it.
Throw them traits away.
Arm strength was not on it. And now I throw that whole list out the door. It's gone. I need size, I need arm strength. I would prefer mobility. Don't want you to be a running quarterback, but I need you to have some mobility. I need you
you gotta have all of it.
I need you to be Jordan Love. You got to have all those tools. Jordan Love has all the tools. He just wasn't polished. You gave him time and you developed him, and it's good enough now.
Would you take Dan Marino mobility?
Dan Marino had
Marino mobility.
Marino didn't have no mobility.
He had none. He had pocket awareness and the ability
pocket awareness to move around the pocket.
He was on. I don't remember when the NFL Network used to do their top 10 list. Hey, he was on there, not because of his mobility in the pocket, the ability to evade the pressure in the pocket. And they had Bruce Smith on there talking about it too. He was like, I always thought I was going to get him. And then he would
but that was just pocket awareness and being able to navigate the pocket.
Would you take that?
It's pocket movement. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, and I'm just going to shut up.
Everybody, quarterbacks don't have to have all these traits, but I think that at a minimum, you got to have 2 superpowers. Two of those elite traits.
Alan's ears are burning.
Superpower, you know that term goes like
not superpower, but 2 elite traits.
Would you take a flyer on Taylor Green?
No.
He's got the strength. He's got the physicality. He's got the capability.
Hold on. Let me see.
I mean,
he's just
in what round?
Yeah.
Is that the one? Is that the one that played at Art Taylor Green?
Also played
and transferred from somewhere.
He played at Boise State under new Dolphins.
It's players like that have the best opportunity.
Shock everybody. Not. I've looked at. He's like the only quarterback that I've looked at their film, and no, he's too straight line. He can't read a defense. He stares down his targets. When he runs, he's not elusive. He could just straight. He's like Ryan Tannehill. He's a straight line runner. Once he gets running, he can run, but he ain't gonna juke you and make.
Yeah, he's not like Tua with Buda Baker. When he juked him out.
That was a great move. Why are you laughing back? That was a great move.
I'll wait for this one to make a face.
You're like that was a great move.
You mean Arizona where he
broke Buda Baker's ankles?
Man, I saw Tua light flash in front of him, and when he survived,
his Tua's rookie year,
that tackle, I said, "Now, if we could get more of that, Tua will be that dude."
You know the best version of Tua. It was a talk to me. Talk to me. That was the best version of Tua. That was a cocky Tua.
When was
that? Got long gone.
It was way before his contract. It was way before.
Yeah, that guy.
How about when he pulled over the Jets DB in the open field?
That's when the Tua fan base started to build.
You could put one hell of a Tua highlight reel for 6 years together.
See, this is what would be funny about it. It'd be 6 years, and you find 6 clips, and they'd be like, man.
No. You could put a good
more than
5 minutes
6.
together. You could put a good 5 minutes together.
Yeah. But I'm gonna use a term I heard from a very great man. He was good enough to not be good enough.
Yep.
And I said the same thing about Ryan Tannehill in 2019. It's just time to move on.
Good enough not to be good enough.
I don't think we can put 5 minutes together, Tannehill, in a Dolphins jersey.
Oh,
man, you crazy.
There's one.
Y'all be disrespecting Tannehill. Do you know they just came out with the top 100 quarterbacks of all time?
That was crazy.
One of them was on there. I know somebody else wasn't.
For some reason, the lasting game that's burned in my head of Tannehill was that Cincinnati Bengals game. How much were we up by in that Cincinnati Bengals game that we lost with Tannehill?
You talk about the past, okay?
we got football.
What was Tannehill, number 97 on the top 100?
99. He was 99.
Yeah, he'll be out of there next year. He'll be bumped next year. Hey, Tennessee, what got him in there to begin with?
Yes,
Not Miami.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what year it was. Was it 2016? You don't remember the game?
In the past, Doug. If it's more than 10 years and that just hit the threshold, statute of limitation of finding bad Tannehill is over.
Doug, I think you're talking about 2018. They lost like 27-17. He got like a fumble return for a touchdown against them.
That's when everybody was done.
That's when he got hurt.
Yeah.
Because I might have been towards the end of the year, but I know that we were winning, and then he had the strip sack because he had horrible pocket presence, and then we ended up losing that game. Anyway, like TD said, it's the past.
Speaking to answer that question about traits, there's a radio host at 10 o'clock. He used to play running back. Pupardo helped me. Played for the Cleveland Browns.
Leroy Horde.
Leroy Horde said something to me. He was like, back in the day, because he played for Bill Belichick. Back in the day, if you played in those cold weather cities, your quarterbacks had to be 6'4" and had to have a strong arm to play in those cities. And he's like, that was a non-negotiable back in the day. And then we changed up all these offenses, and we changed up all the quick hitting stuff. And then all of a sudden, people forgot, like, the game changes in the cold weather in different elements. And he's like, NFL just got to get back to 6'4" quarterbacks, 6'4" strong arm quarterbacks. You can't, like, think about how many 6'1" quarterbacks there are in that league right now.
Did Russell Wilson change that mantra?
I can't blame it on. Can we blame it on Russell Wilson?
He
was small, but he was a little bulky. So in play action, I think what happened.
Good arm too.
Yeah, but I think the league fell in love with the fast, small, mobile, like just making plays, like Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray was like a unique aberration, and then Lamar is Lamar. Kyler Murray was like Lamar had a little size to him. Kyler Murray doesn't have any size to him. So, but he was so dynamic that people made the exception. But it might have been started with Russell Wilson. I can't, Jeff Garcia wasn't big. Steve Young wasn't big.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I always thought that Mike Vick was like 6'3". I always thought he was bigger than he was.
No. Yeah,
he's not small too.
Well,
Mike might be 6'2". Yeah, he's not tall.
Taylor Green is 6'6", just so you know.
Yeah, he's a big man.
Bro, he runs like a giraffe. Like, look at it. It's like when you look at the film, look at it. He's a straight line runner. That doesn't mean no good.
You know who had a funny run? And we'll get to the next donation. Colin Kaepernick, man, he ran like he pooped his pants. Like, if you ever watch Friends, you ever see the episode where Phoebe just runs like no one's watching? That's how Colin Kaepernick looked when he was running. He looked so awkward, like an octopus running. Josh said, stop repeating failed history. We're not going to find a diamond in the trash heap. 2027 draft is where the quarterback of the future is. We said that about 2026.
We said that about 2026 draft.
Yeah, we got to stop that mess. There's gems in almost every draft.
You're right.
You just got to find them.
Yep.
Got to find them.
One quarterback from this draft is going to be very good and a Pro Bowler. You don't know who it is, but you got to be do a good job evaluating it.
B. Whittaker said if Arch's last name wasn't Manning, he'd have zero hype. Yeah. There wouldn't be as much eyes on him.
Well, certainly.
Andre's been a member for a month.
That's a good one.
He said, who has more locker room friends, Tannehill or Sua? Sua.
Tannehill.
I might go Tannehill. Even though the entire defense hated him, I might go Tannehill.
I know, but Ndamukong Incorporated.
And Ndamukong was I vividly remember and will never forget the day that he abused Jamal Douglas and like just verbally just assaulted him in a locker room in front of the media, like tell him how trash he was. And I thought there's no possible way anybody could like you. Like, there's no possible way anybody could like you as a human being. Like, but
oh my
anyway.
God. Who's the Jets quarterback that him and Cameron Wake killed?
Bryce Petty.
They killed him.
Who was in Dolphin camp like a year or two after that.
Destroyed.
Not as bad as Brady Quinn, though.
Nope.
Phil said, good show, guys. We appreciate
Thank
you. There was a UK watcher who commented maybe about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah.
They appreciated that we were early because they could watch it.
No, there's a UK comment in here that's directed at me. I definitely want to address it. It's a paid one.
Find it already.
No. I think it had something to do with Tannehill and making excuses for Tannehill, and I forgot what. Lovell are nitpicking. No, this isn't him. But Lovell are nitpicking potential QBs like he didn't die on a hill for he who shall not be named for 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the lie?
And if his arm still had some velocity, I'd still be on that hill. If they didn't have to stop catering an offense to somebody who didn't have an arm, and then
he never had an arm.
Never had an arm.
He had enough of an arm. He had enough.
Even if his enough of an arm was still alive, we just still be a 9-11 win, no December, January success team over and over.
Well, build a better defense and build a better running game.
Oh my God.
Maybe don't have a unit of Smurf receivers.
I mean, how much better can they build it with all the money they spent around them?
Oh.
Okay,
let's not act like they did it right.
They could draft better. But
this is the first year you paying a real bill for Tua. So stop with all that. Not like all the first 2 years you got off the hook, which is why it's 54 right now. Your year one cap
it was 39 last year. It's not like it's
39, 54.
Hold on. No.
Like first year you got a signing bonus and a minimum salary and then an option bonus. Then you got 39. This is the big year. This is the big money year. And it's set up strategically like that. You were dumb enough to sign it. It is what it is.
No, you were dumb enough to offer it.
Yes.
Tua was genius to sign it. And the Dolphins were like, oh, he's going to be better in year 3. So
you're giving me this much money for 1 year production?
He had them by the balls.
You know for a fact Tua signed it with a smiley face at the end.
Here's the thing. I'll tell you some inside information. Mike McDaniel blamed the 2024 season on the fact that none of his core players participated in training camp altogether. So then that contributed to a slow start. So then the next year is the Tua holdout year. The whole offseason, this guy ain't playing in 11-on-11s.
Well, no, hold on. You got your timeline wrong. Tua got the contract in July 2024. The previous year was 2023 when they had their very good season. So if you're gonna, so it wasn't like the extension came the year where a whole bunch of guys, because you had Jalen Ramsey, my hamstrings hurt, give me more money. Here's your more money. Oh, hamstrings, great. Remember, he was a question mark for the opener, and then you also had Tyreek wanted give me more guarantees, even though I have 2 years left. That was 2024.
That deal was. We're not going to get into Tyreek's deal because
I know, but your timeline is not.
Yeah, I think my timeline's off. But I remember Mike McDaniel complaining that all of his guys were never together, which is what it might have been the excuse. 24. He had already gotten his money, but the bottom line is Mike needed Tua to practice, or it would have set everything behind.
And to what end?
Correct, because again, they had no other option. Steve, we're all good, my man. Steve, we're all good. We're good. Thank you
for the 20, bud. Michael says, as TD said, Keon Coleman in a first rounder for a Waddle deal.
In a heartbeat.
Hell no.
In a heartbeat.
Why wouldn't you? A first round pick in Keon Coleman?
I don't want Keon Coleman.
Who you have on his
Keon Coleman is come on, Keon Coleman. I'm telling you now, the Bills have untapped talent there, in my opinion. And even if it doesn't work out, but he only been in this league 2 years.
I'm not getting a 28th pick for Jalen Waddle. Like what am I doing?
In a heartbeat. You know, his cap number goes up to $33 million next year when
Bills do.
Correct, but right now, to me,
we offer more than that.
and take a shot at a former first-round pick wide receiver who does have ability. I think there's some. No, you weren't off. That was the old regime, and you weren't offered. I think what's his name said when we were in Europe, like, don't believe all the reports that you saw out there. No, I know, but this I'm referring strictly to the hypothetical presented here. Yeah, I mean, if you want to trade, it's not going to benefit you cap-wise to trade Jalen Waddle. So
it's going to benefit us draft-wise
next year.
Bro, you're not doing anything with a 28th pick in the first round. Not in this draft.
What are you talking about?
Go.
Like, Omar, then we ain't doing nothing with our second round pick. I mean, you do it's a first round
pretty pick. Much. It's you want to go get Jonas Savaiinaea with pick number 28. Go for
it. Man. Come on, man. You can't discount draft picks because
you're terrible at it. What's the first round boy's name? What's the first round boy's name?
Kenneth Grant.
He should have been the 28th pick. You want to go get Kenneth Grant with the 28th pick? Go for it.
So John Eric Sullivan, they can't draft.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Then that's all I'm saying. Let's give them a chance.
Somebody got to be somebody this team opposing defense has got to prepare for. Somebody. Like, you got Achane and who?
But you're building for something sustainable over the long haul. You're not building. Your answer, Omar, there is hyper focused on being competitive right now. That's not what it's about. It's about establishing the program, building a foundation.
Okay, and foundation of you know what the problem with the Chris Greer, other than the fact that he couldn't draft, he had all his players come up in free agency at the same time and couldn't afford to pay all of the ones that actually developed.
Because I'm sorry.
Huh? So I mean, you could have done it if you really wanted to, but you didn't want to pay Christian Wilkins. You didn't want to pay Robert Hunt. You didn't want to pay Javon Holland. You didn't want to pay Andrew Van Ginkel. I mean, they could have done it. They didn't want to do it. So why are you going to do it all over again? Yes, let's make our attempt to go get draft picks and hopefully select players, and hopefully they turn out better than the 5 that played last year, because they're just average dudes. But if you're not going to build anything special when you draft just average dudes.
We can't put that on the new regime. We got to give them a chance to draft some great dudes.
All right.
Omar, you scarred.
I am. I don't deny that.
You're doing Sullivan wrong right now. You got to give him a fair opportunity.
As Hafley has said, trust must be earned. You ain't done nothing.
I get that. But
trust must be earned. Look at this franchise for the last 2 decades.
But you got to give him the opportunity to earn it. How about that?
Sure. Phil with the big $20 donation said Levis draft profile says his comp is Jay Cutler. He was drafted by Tennessee to replace Malik Willis. Malik may get 10 to 12 million. You could probably get Levis for around 3 million and a carton of cigarettes, smoking oil. Hey, and then you have legit competition.
I
You know for a fact.
The question is, does Will care? Because you remember the very famous Jay Cutler?
Don't care. Yeah,
The man did not care.
and that was truly his personality, by the way. It was not. It was
He
not
got paid.
Oh yeah.
It was not an act.
Idle Man said, do we take Simpson at 11? No. Rams, Jets, Steelers have interest at 13, 16, 21 picks. What do they see that we do not? That's all this.
Not a fan.
History says 1-year starters in the NFL quarterbacks have been disasters.
I'm not touching Simpson. Ty.
Is Tannehill a disaster?
I think it was a 2-year starter.
Like a year and a half, I think.
Wide receiver.
Yeah, it was a year and a half, and it wasn't a disaster, but he certainly didn't pan out great.
He might have been the best success story for 1 year, for pretty much a 1-year starter.
They brought his head coach over as the offensive coordinator.
Mike Sherman.
Golden Thumb said, don't think we bring in any vet quarterback. We're getting cheap, younger, bigger, and more disciplined. I hope. We got to build the roster somehow.
Cheap, yes. Younger, yes. Bigger, hopefully. More disciplined, yeah, sure.
We got to see. We're all burnt. We're all so burnt.
I'm not burnt. I'm scorched. Talk about
They
burnt.
beat Omar to a pope. I thought I was bad.
Hey, I finally got my blood pressure under control. I'm not going to let the Dolphins kill me now. Like, nah. I will not do that.
Phil Jones with the tennis said, on YouTube, search Will Levis scariest quarterback in college football and tell me he shouldn't get a shot. Zach Yensier was his O-line coach in college. Maybe Omar Allen can ask about him. Interesting.
I actually think Will Levis is the best route solution for the Dolphins right
You could what?
Huh?
Would they take a 7th for Will Levis?
Probably not.
So
Probably not.
I don't think the time is right for Will Levis. Just
You got development. Why can't Will Levis compete with Quinn
well,
Ewers?
no, I guess what I'm saying, just like Malik Washington, I think it was important for him to go to Green Bay and sit there. Malik Willis, for him to sit there for a few years. And I think Will Levis needs that too. That 2 year of just sitting and learning. But that ain't Miami. No, because he's here to compete.
Come sit here and learn. Yeah. Come on. I'm telling you, it's cheap. The guy's got a cannon for an arm.
Yep.
He's had some bad coaching. He probably needs to stabilize and get into a system that benefits him.
He could take a hit. He could take a hit.
There's something there to work with. Now, if you want to do Malik Willis, fine. But he's got Will Levis got size, but don't let it blow up in your face.
Yeah.
Felix Shorts said, Omar in that ass. This ain't football. B. Whittaker said, how would GM Omar, TD, Poop, and Doug go about rebuilding this team over the coming years? Personally, I'd invest zero assets in the quarterback position for 2 years.
No,
not 2 years. I think we all can come to an agreement that, I'm trenches. Build the trenches and go get your quarterback. That's what I would do.
I'm trenches. I'm trading up for Ruben Bain, and building from there.
You love your UM players, no matter what, no matter who.
I know you'd say that. I know you gonna say that.
Invariably, it could be the ball boy. Love that guy.
I've been critical, and people at UM think I'm a hater. So yeah.
No, you are a lover, man.
Some people just don't like the truth. I've come to that conclusion.
I love Ruben Bain. That motor nonstop. I'm hoping
we can go up to get Ruben Bain,
and they nitpick his arm and they tell him he's got all medical red flags. And go on ahead, let him drop.
He translates to the NFL immediately.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
He's going to the Jets. You think?
No, man, that would be very upsetting for me.
Everyone go watch TD's live stream of the first round of the draft because if Bane goes too.
No, because I just don't want to be in the basement of the division, and it looked like that's where we headed.
Terrence says, hey guys, yeah, TD, we were freezing in New York. I came up to see you and ran back inside. Anyways, stop Tua, he's garbage juice. And Mr. Glass put together Malik Willis compared to Tua is crazy talk. I think they were just comparing his size, not obviously his play.
Salute to you, Terry.
Felix also says, okay, so we're getting freaky, Omar. I got to start reading these when things are said.
It was when you said earlier about if they get it wrong, you're going to be all in there.
Okay, yeah. No,
I missed the pause on that one, so yeah.
Aaron with the fiver says, before folks throw tomatoes, why not just not make things so complicated and just let the current quarterbacks just compete? Also, Omar, does Joe Rose issue
with Tua?
Does Joe Rose have an issue with Tua?
Yeah.
No, Joe.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Big time.
No, I don't think so. Joe and the old fogies just don't believe in him.
That's having an issue with Tua.
I mean, but when he was winning, they start to buy into it. But now it's like, bro, you can't. I'm sorry, and look how much I love Tua. You can't play with a quarterback without an arm with velocity. Like it doesn't work. It's not going to work. It's never going to work. Like. And will he ever get velocity back in his arm? Like, you could be a backup for a team and maybe something happens to the starter. You come in and you dink and dunk. Kansas City is a great spot for him. You could go dink and dunk in Kansas City for whatever until it gets cold and, win a championship. But, like, as a backup, Tua's probably a backup in the league for the rest of his career because nobody can count on that arm. Like, defensive coaches were saying we don't have to have our safeties back up past 40 yards because he can't throw that far. Like, we don't have to have them play man to man because we can jump everything because if we're looking at it, we can see it and we can get to it. Like, you can't play like that. Like,
it's all Brian Flores' fault.
You know what it is? I can make an argument that it is because if Brian Flores, who did not want to,
what'd you do, TD?
If Brian Flores, who did not want to, and I do believe he did not want to, had said to Chris Greer, I don't want Tua, there would not be Tua here.
We sure about that?
Absolutely.
We sure that
Chris Greer was a people pleaser.
No. That ain't what I was
saying. Said to me in quotes, I will never give a coach a quarterback that he does not want to coach.
Not if the higher ups say you're going to draft Tua and you're going to like it.
No, I don't believe that. If
we should have had Lamar Jackson
had said I don't like Tua, he would not be here.
Steve Ross, higher up say it.
No, Steve Ross has never forced anything on a team.
Here's the other factor in this thing. Yes, Stephen Ross brought up the idea of Lamar Jackson in 2018. Chris Greer told him, no, I got my conviction. Pick Minka Fitzpatrick at 11.
No, Adam Gase told him no. Tannenbaum wanted to make the trade down, but not for Lamar. And Greer said, shut up, everybody. It's my draft, my pick. It's Minka.
Okay, but the bottom line is, again, Chris Greer put his foot down. 2020, the second year, the whole year started as quote unquote tank for Tua. They really made a push for Joe Burrow at number 1. Bengals were like, no thanks, talk to the hand. And then at number 5, lo and behold, Tua's out there. Are you really going to dismiss the idea that the higher ups in the organization, up to and perhaps including Stephen Ross, were like, we're taking Tua?
So if Brian Flores came out and said, I will not coach this team with Tua as my quarterback, they would still take him?
In the evaluation process, he should have said, I don't want Tua. He abused Tua twice to see if he can handle tough coaching and tough criticism.
Got his answer.
And should have said,
really hated him.
And should have said, I can't act like he's not tough enough for me.
and maybe he didn't.
You don't think he said that?
Yeah.
You don't think he then told him that after he had already?
I have no doubt in my mind if he had said that, Chris Greer would have never drafted him. Chris Greer would have.
I think they were at the point of you got to make it work.
The guy was coming off a hip injury. There was a lot of reason to not draft him. All Brian Flores had to say was, "I don't want to coach him."
With all the reasons there not to draft him, the fact that they did draft him again, and it's really never come out, and I don't know if it ever will. But I'm sorry, I refuse to dismiss the possibility that there was a mandate. You're going to tell me it came from Brian Flores to replace Fitzpatrick with Tua in the lineup in 2020 after they won back-to-back games?
No.
Well, that's after
I think on that one, since we're getting into conspiracy theories, I think on that one, Brian Flores was trying to prove that Tua was not good so that he could quickly move on from him. I think he set him up for failure. Why are you making his first start against the NFL's #1 defense? He set him up for failure.
Why do you look at it as set him up for failure instead of let me show you he gonna fail?
He did not want him to succeed.
What if he just knew he wasn't?
What if he just knew he wasn't going to succeed?
Yeah.
So wait a second, Omar. Time out. So Omar, you're saying
a rabbit hole. We're
over
by 15.
You're saying he didn't want him to succeed, but on the other hand, he wasn't going to raise an objection to drafting him. Are you serious?
I think he realized he had made him. I think he realized he had. Come on, the next year he's campaigning for Deshaun Watson all season.
Correct, because he saw him after 1 year. Like, no, this guy ain't it.
No, but he knew. Like, bro, you saw the first training camp practice, and you saw that arm. You were like, well, we were both like, what the hell?
You know, someone in the comment section said I should get a bell. And then when it gets out of hands, I should ring a bell. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, next topic.
Yeah, Omar, what's your obsession with Tua? Just keep bringing him up, man.
Anyway, this comment, Birthday Salami says, love Omar nitpicking potential quarterbacks like he didn't die on the hill for who must not be named for 6 years. Terpez?
Terpzed.
Look, all I'm saying is I'm 25. I haven't seen more than 2 playoff berths. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. I feel you, man.
Bro, imagine being 40, 45. You ain't seen nothing.
Dave said with the 2 where Malik Willis could be the next Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn, one good game. Malik Willis had, more than that, but I see where you're coming from. B. Whittaker said Omar spent years defending his awful evaluation of Tua.
This is the one. And
expects us to listen to him about Super Bowl winning quarterback Sam Darnold.
Absolutely.
Jeez. Jiffy said, if you draft a quarterback this year in the mid-late rounds, would it not be irresponsible to draft another quarterback in 2027? Keep drafting until you find it, man. That's what literally Sullivan said. Terrence said Tua was an imposter. He was never good enough.
Damn.
No,
I agree with that one. Inconsistency. My biggest knock on Tua that I notice a lot of people ignore is I constantly said every year after the season was over, I gave my evaluation. I said he's injury prone and he's inconsistent. Those are my 2 biggest things. When the end of the year comes, he was
He wasn't inconsistent. He couldn't win big games.
He was inconsistent.
No, he wasn't inconsistent. He's very consistent.
When the big games happen every 3 games, it's inconsistent.
No, he was very consistent.
It's the game placement.
He was very consistent. He could not win big games.
I made this point.
And it wasn't his team could not win big games.
I made this point that Tua, I don't know that there's a quarterback in the NFL where you knew exactly what you were going to get out of Tua on a week-to-week basis. Because if they were playing a crappy team with a bad defense, he was going to cook. If they were playing a really, really good team, there were going to be issues. And I kept saying after every year, if you remember this, Omar, Dolphins need to look for something better because they're not competing with the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows of the world and all that. And Omar kept telling me every single solitary year, who are you going to get? Who are you going to get? Who are you going to get? And my point was always,
keep drafting.
I don't keep looking.
Keep looking, keep pulling. Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. And
Birthday Salami said, I get it if you have conviction, but not sure to waste much resources on a quarterback. This is the year to strip down and build inside out. 2027 is the year of the quarterback.
I don't agree with this whole strip down mentality. What do you
They already halfway done.
They're just
More
being cap compliant. There's no reason to strip down much further. They're just cap compliant now. Like cutting Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson has trade value. You could trade Austin Jackson after training camp. You could trade Austin Jackson by the trade deadline. He has value. You cut him now, you lose. You create cap space that you're gonna do nothing with, and literally, and you just got to replace the right tackle. Like,
what are the odds he's not going to be injured by the trade deadline? Oops, sorry.
You cross your fingers, hope he's not injured, and then you trade him.
That is such a truthful thing.
Yep. Mole Security said, just have to know, has Omar ever played in a poker game? Hall of Fame facial expressions. Love y'all and the stream. Appreciate you. Yeah. Also threw a tenor out there, said salary factors aside, and never understood trading players like Achane for low round picks just to hopefully draft a player as good as the one you tossed. Feels like
question for you.
On a mystery
box. What would everybody except for Devon Achane?
Yeah, you're not trading Achane for a low round pick.
No, yeah.
Would you trade him for a second?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't, Omar?
Yeah.
Phil said, seriously, Omar, search Will Levis scariest quarterback in college football and watch him break DB ankles when running 6'4", 235, 26 years old. Yeah.
I'm telling y'all.
He got the frame.
Barry said, failure has been not building the trenches. Agree 1,000%.
No, failure has been not succeeding in building the trenches. It's not because they haven't tried.
Yeah, they've invested in the trenches. They just failed miserably.
It was the position that Chris Greer drafted the worst.
Yep. Yeah. And MJ said Drew Aller. But we are going to get out of here. We went over by about a half hour. Shout out to everyone hanging out. We are very close to 12,000 subs, like very, very close. So if you are new, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out. Don't forget to go check out Omar at Miami Herald, Alan Poupart, Miami Dolphins on SI. TD, youtube.com/TD Fins Talk, AFC East Roundtable, and Roundtable Sports. And check me out, youtube.com/DudleyDurong. We will see you Tuesday, 7 o'clock normal time. Unless you guys like it early, let us know in the comments below.
Enjoy your daughter dance.
Yes, enjoy your daughter dance.
Omar was telling us in the chat that Tuesday, I think the Dolphins are going to be talking.
Yes.
That's going to be challenging.
The time might be different on Tuesday. We'll let you know.
I will be in Indianapolis next week.
We'll let you know. But we'll see you Tuesday.
All right.
See you later, guys.